We have to go through the Valley of Cringe. We have to. And people will judge, people do, but it's part of the process. And I think those founders have to go through the Valley of Cringe. And when they do, they feel like it's just going to get worse and worse, but they just meet one person because they push, and that one person is all they need.
Real people, real stories, and real challenges that break the status quo. I'm your host, Zivile, and welcome to Perception Paradox. Hi everyone! It's so exciting. It's December, holiday season is getting closer, so I hope you finding joy in this time of the year. And my today's guest is Kayvan Nikjou. We recorded a conversation live at Web Summit 2025, which happened a couple of weeks back in Lisbon. And Kayvan is a great marketeer, storyteller, cultural expert, entrepreneur, and he shared some great communication secrets. And together we dived into some crucial questions for any leader, creator, entrepreneur in this world, or just simply human being. We raised the question, what is the difference between being kind and being nice? Kayvan shared his unconventional playbook for communication and success, revealing the viral strategy behind pushing through the Valley of Cringe. Also, why you must draw a line in the sand and choose your side, as well as revealing the fascinating cultural networking secret known as the Tarot secret. So let's wait no more and let's dive in. I hope you enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Perception Paradox. Today we are live from Web Summit 2025 happening in Lisbon. Big honor to be here, and the most excited I am because I am here today with Kayvan. And Kayvan, I would call him, he's an old friend from the startup ecosystem, and I've always seen him surrounded by people. Always, he is the one who knows where the best party or the best networking event is happening. But besides that, I find him as a person who is genuinely curious, always connecting people towards each other, opportunities, and at the same time, he is very brave to try things, do things. He's not afraid to start new things all the time when he sees an opportunity. So Kayvan, I couldn't imagine a better person to have here today, so welcome.
Thanks so much. Thanks for inviting me, especially coming from a good friend. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. That's a really energetic introduction. I need some energy today, so it's good. It's good.
Well, it's the third day of Web Summit, right?
Yeah, and it's first time for me here, so it's it's a really interesting place to be. And I was only in the Rio de Janeiro one, so this is like it's a big one. It's a big one.
So how was your week so far then, if it's your first one in Lisbon?
Yeah, I came. It's a really good. So it's all about having quality networking. Before I used to go to meet anybody who would talk to me, and now it's about really focusing on who you want to talk to, how long you want to talk to, and what you want to give to them. And so here you have that exclusivity of being in a speakers lounge or going to nice dinners and stuff. So they've done a really good job here, and you're tired, but you're not exhausted.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea how we still find the energy to go to another event. Like yesterday, I came back after the whole day to drop my bag, and I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. And I'm like, maybe let's a short walk. I'm gonna see how I feel. And then the moment you enter the room, you meet so many bright people that the energy just gets back.
Exactly. Yeah. That's I had the same thing. Yesterday I was a little bit zoning out, and then you had a wine, and then someone comes talk to you, and then rip, and you go up and again. So I think it's the energy that humans have to each other. And I was talking to this. We were in a bus on the first day, and there was this famous actor on the first seat that I recognized, and I had a good banter with him. And because he was telling me, "Oh, why don't you have your name badge?" And I said, well, it's like, I feel like a cow walking with a name badge because in the wind, it was just hitting my face. And he laughed really loud for some reason. And then he sat in front of the bus, and the guy was sitting next to him. And there are certain things that people do when they want to network or they want to have a conversation. They're called hooks, or they're called openers, and he was clearly opening a conversation with this guy next to him and saying, "Hey, so when did you arrive?" And then the guy just said, 2 days ago. And that's it. He didn't follow up. He didn't. And I was just thinking, you just missed a really good opportunity, because you're talking to Oscar winner, you're talking to a proper actor with like over 50 movies, and some of the most famous, like Avatar. And it was just like And I've noticed that, so I went to talk to him. And
Okay.
so it was just an interesting thing to see that you never know who you're gonna sit next to. So be nice to everyone. Be really super nice and be your best behavior. You know. So,
Yeah, I really like it, and we'll get back later now to the intuition part. But how did you approach the conversation then with this person?
like any other, not being. First of all, you don't recognize who they are, even if you don't. If you know who they are, you shouldn't go, "Oh my God, you're this person," because they're used to it. Even the CEOs, even the founders, they're used to it. Like, you know that. And then if you go to them, we just met Sol Campbell, an English footballer, and we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
First thing is just being yourself, but very calm version of yourself. So everyone says be yourself. I say be like 20% better, or maybe even 50%, and be really calm and speak super slow.
Super slow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you
Tell me
speak
more about
slow, and especially when you're not an English native and you have an accent, like me and you have certain accent, you speak slowly and people pay much more attention. Like they want to lean in, and that's what you want. And sometimes they speak slow intentionally so that they are really tuning into this conversation rather than being on the phone. And that works. Like I take it slowly and I'm like, hey, what are you up to here today? And then go, oh, what? Yeah. So a little bit slowly and then asking questions rather than talking to about yourself. That works wonders. Just asking and just talking about stuff that you've seen around. Anecdotes work because I saw a person who was fainting. She fainted in a dinner suddenly, and I talked about that and opened the conversation. And then we went to that he also fainted once in a and it just kept going and on. So conversations should never be about you. It should be about who you see around and what you see, observe. Works wonders because then they remember you, that you were the guy who didn't ask for anything or you didn't pitch anything. And then you have this breadcrumb situation where you're actually like inviting them to ask you a question. And when they ask a question, that's where we start. Good things start.
How do you do that? How do you make someone curious to ask you the question?
You're very specific about your questions first, like you don't ask what do you do, how do you do, where are you from. You're just like, oh, so what brought you here, or what's the silliest thing you saw yesterday, and oh, do you like Portuguese food, for example, and it goes from there. So it's questions are really it's kind of my thing. So networking is like one of the things I do. Well, one of the few things I do really well, just one or two things I do really well. It's networking. My mom used to always say, the only thing you do really well is talking and bringing people together. And it's like, great, thanks, mom. Well, now I finally realize that's where you're going to end. So it's just small nuggets of information that you want to get out of them, and then you bounce off of that. It's called riffing in English. You riff out of someone. It's like if you play guitar, someone plays a chord and you say, oh, that's a nice chord. I'm going to add to that with my guitar. You do that same thing. And if you know the person is an actor or musician, you know what they're going to like to talk about usually. Their art or other music or things they've seen. But you should not go there immediately. Because if you go, then it's their territory. You should be in your territory. So your questions should be like, what do you have seen here today? Or what's the best party you've gone and go to? Or what's the worst startup you've seen here today? And just go from there.
That is so interesting. And we, before coming here to the studio, we also touched base and covered the cultural angle, right? We are at Web Summit, 8,000 plus people. You can clearly see from the booths, from people you meet everywhere, we have so many nationalities. I'm pretty sure we do have everyone, at least from every single country in the world. So how does this cultural understanding and awareness play into your, I wouldn't call it networking game, but into your communication style, the way you approach people?
Yeah, I'm Iranian myself, and Iranians are really good at this. We've done it for thousands of years. Like communication is our thing, hospitality is our thing. So it partially is in my blood. But I think networking is the most valuable asset you have in your arsenal because it's social currency. It's attention. Attention is really, really important right now. So you cannot talk the same way if you're, for example, American or Iranian. You cannot talk the same way you should to everybody. Like you're from Lithuania. If I speak to you the way I would speak to Iranian, it would be very strange to you because you feel like it's too much of over hospitality because in Iranian culture, we're over the board. You're like, oh, my kidney is yours, and I would, you have to ask me 3 times. Do you know this in Iranian culture?
No.
Okay, so It's good to know because Iranians are quite prominent in tech industry
Yeah.
and in art. So if me and you are Iranian and I am dying of thirst, right? You won't offer me water, but I'm dying of thirst. I have to say no first time. It's called tarof. You have to ask second time, and I still have to say no. If I say yes the first time, it's so rude. The conversation will be pretty much over. Like, you won't take me seriously anymore. So you have to ask me 3 times. On the third time, I have to say yes.
Okay.
Even if I am not thirsty, I will have to take it. It's called tarof. So that's the typical thing. Like, if you're asking for VC money from Iranian, and you have to ask them 3 times. Even if they want to give it to you, they will say no, like, personally. So it's understanding these cultural elements of these countries is really important. And that separates networking from making partnerships and friendships and really having memorable conversations.
Very interesting. I started thinking right now, how would I approach, let's say, some conversations I had before in a different way? Talking about networking and the events, before I really want us to touch base on the event experience, but before getting into the event experience, every preparation for event starts behind the scenes, right? We kind of go, especially if it's a big event, we review what's happening in the program, what are our goals, intentions. How do you approach your preparation for events? Are you more the serendipity vibe guy, or you are the planner, or you're both in the mix?
I used to plan and it didn't go well.
It doesn't work for me,
It
actually.
just doesn't work. Respect people who plan. It just doesn't work. I have a team and they were like, "Hey, Kayvan, you need to meet this person." Great. But as soon as you meet someone and you click with them, I always ask them like, "Hey, who do you think I should meet here?" And then they take you and then introduce me to someone, and it just goes from there. So warm contact, a warm introduction is so valuable. So I'm completely serendipitous, but I do have anchor people. So I want to meet certain people or companies at the event, and I won't leave until I do. Like, I will do everything I can to meet them, and I've done that already here. So that helps a lot. Like, having 1 or 2 or 3, or maybe depends on the days of the event, those people, and you get to them by asking questions. Like, if you ask me, like, but Sol Campo, for example, if you want to meet Sol Campo, how do I meet him? How do I meet him? Eventually, someone will say to someone that Zivile wants to meet him,
Yeah.
and someone will come and introduce you to that. So having that anchor and then communicating about it is super helpful and works.
And what about the healthy boundaries? Because sometimes I see that, especially founders, we're a bit over push it, and that curiosity and the wish to reach for goals, I would say, sometimes crosses the boundaries.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think, what's the worst thing that can happen if you push and people are gonna say no, and maybe they say, "Oh, this guy's really pushy," but maybe on the 10th attempt it's gonna work. Especially if you're American, Americans are really good at this. They will push, they go for it. And you look what they're doing. Look what they're creating. They have no there's not an unapologetic nation, Whereas Europeans, we're very much polite. Yeah, we don't dare. I was in America, and Israelis are another example. I think they're some of the best in this. They're so precise, and they're so insisting on how they meet. Like, I met some Israelis here, and they lock in quickly, and they ask the question like, "Hey, how do we work together? How much do you need? I want to raise this much money. Do you have it?" Like, if you don't ask those questions, then you don't get the answer. So, and then they keep pushing. And for me, especially, I will say, like, if someone wants to meet a network of mine, and they keep pushing, I'll just say, "Hey, look, I can't make it happen. It's not gonna work out," and that's fine. You just stop it right there. But if you keep not giving an answer, yes or no, I think the person is gonna look for the yes or no. So there's nothing wrong with that. And I see people who are way ahead in a career, especially content creators, that don't give a F. Like, they just go for it, and they will push and push and push. I think it's the Valley of Cringe. Do you know this? Do you know this concept?
No.
So if you have these 2 bottles here, and this is you,
Yeah.
and that right there is absolute success, you have to go through the Valley of Cringe to get there. And if you don't, you won't get the success. So this is the same thing with content creators. We have to go through the Valley of Cringe. We have to. And people will judge, people do. but it's part of the process. And I think those founders have to go through the Valley of Cringe. And when they do, they feel like it's just going to get worse and worse, but they just meet one person because they push, and that one person is all they need. Just like a romance.
Golden thought. So talking about the content, so you are a creator yourself. You've been trying different formats, including the podcasting. Right now, you became, I would call, big on TikTok in 1 year, covering different topics. And I even didn't know before we caught up this week that you moved into the architecture and buildings with some kind of historic value.
Find out about that.
Well, because you told me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I just saw you going viral on TikTok when you was sharing something about the cultures. Not something, it was quite interesting perspectives and views that really were successful. And then you pivoted also a different area of architecture and building. So what brought you to creator economy, and how did you approach the channels, taking into consideration that you manage actually to push it and grow and succeed?
Love this, because I think it's one of the most important subjects. Anyone who wants to be publicly aware, like public figure in one way or another, media, podcaster, founder, investor, anyone, if they don't do content, is because their cringe is too much. They don't want to do it, so it's holding them back. And also, I think it will hold them back like a lot. So I just went last year. I watched this one TikToker, and she said exactly this: the Valley of Cringe.
Oh, really?
She was just like, you have to go through it. And I did it. And I did a TikTok about how to talk to different cultures in a business setup. Like how to deal with different, like if you're American, how to negotiate with Arabs from Middle East. Because Americans just think they're just going to go there, howdy, everything's good, right? And let's just do American way. And everyone's just going to do what I say. It's just not like that anymore. So I did that, and it went really, really well. Some of my one video got 13 million views. I was on New Zealand's TV. I did a podcast, content about the Māoris in New Zealand. I'm really fascinated by them. And it just went all over. And people thought I was an expert in Māori culture, and I'm not. I even got invited to a Māori wedding.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and poached by New Zealand Airlines to go on. It's madness. It's still going on, and it was like 6 months ago. It's just because I'm interested in cultural communication, and then there is not enough of cultural intelligence out there. People don't think, they just don't think that people are different really when it comes to cultures and communication, understanding each other. So I started doing Man Off Now. It's my own TikTok channel. And without telling anybody, no friends. I don't know how did you find out, by the way?
Because you shared it on Instagram, and then I saw that it's leading to TikTok. I'm not really using a TikTok besides some podcast reels, and I think I should now. And then I just went to see the video because I was curious. The topic is relevant. I saw that it's also gaining traction. And then I saw all that, and I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I think I shared the view. I got 27 million views, and then I shared that, and I didn't share the handle of TikTok. I never did.
But I don't know then how they.
This is interesting because you're a friend and we're connected. So I haven't told anybody, any friend. So this is an interesting thing. So I don't want to tell my friends and family about what I do online.
Why?
Content creation. Because I don't think I need them at the beginning. I don't want pity followers. I want organic followers. Even if it's 5 people, I'd rather have those 5 that want to hear rather than 5 who are like, you can do it, we're your friends and family. Because eventually that's going to fizzle down. Eventually. Not you know. So I want... Yeah, and this is also TikTok strategies that never tell your friends and family. Just keep going, and they will find you organically, and then they become your audience rather than fans. So there's a whole different aspect of this.
So interesting.
Yeah, and the architecture thing, you found out about it because I put it on my stories on Instagram. I never shared my TikTok. I never do that.
Yeah.
So and then people were like, what, Kayvan, what are you doing? What is this building? Are you okay? I was like, I just like buildings and structures and architecture. So I opened an account, and he went just crazy, a TikTok account called Fade Proof, because I like things that are fade proof. And it just went crazy, and people started approaching me. And it's like, hey, maybe you should do this full time, tell stories about buildings and architecture. And I said, but I'm not an architect. It's like, yeah, that's why you should do that. So Now I'm starting a full-time cinematic quality YouTube channel telling stories about most beautiful buildings in the world and yachts for some reason.
Well,
Yeah, so never tell
I mean,
difference from me.
okay, wow. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, you've been working with luxury cars, you've been working with different luxury brands as well, creating exclusive experiences from Tomorrowland to other organizations. So it's kind of now, I'm not surprised about your transition because you're still keeping this level high, just finding different perspectives and what's needed in the market.
Yeah, I think the more AI, I'm completely against AI. I'm a radicalist.
really?
Yeah,
All
I'm a
right.
radicalist. I think AI should burn away like immediately. I am very radical about it.
Ooh.
But that's the thing, because I say this, people come and talk to me about it. Like they want to talk.
Yeah.
You don't go to Scott Galloway, a very good creator, to agree with him. You go and debate with him, and so I'm against AI, and that positions me very clearly. Like I had a roundtable here on Monday with corporates that were from Airbus, from Lovable, from Mairo, and I was just saying we'll be fine without AI. If it disappears tomorrow, nobody's gonna miss it. And people start debating about it, and I said, well, this is the experience I want to create. Experiences where people debate with each other. You can't have that with AI.
Yeah.
So working with a lot of luxury brands like Porsche, Mercedes, and understanding the human psychology and different cultures, especially Germans, who are very, very special people in Europe, as we may know, and how to deal with them. Yeah, it goes through failures. It goes through putting a line on the sand. Do you know this concept of putting a line on the
No.
sand? It's a very good book by Rework. It's called Rework.
Oh, I know the book. Yeah.
Rework, not
Oh,
rework.
Rework.
Rework, yeah.
I also know, I think, the book actually. I see the titles.
It's a really good book.
Yeah.
I've read it alone. It's one of few books I've read actually. It's a really good book. It's so good. It's 2 pages of just
It's
straight.
the book.
No.
Just-
There's 2 pages of one advice, and then there's 2 pages in another one.
Okay.
And one advice just says, draw a line on the sand. People want to know which part of this line you're standing on. They're not going to follow you if you're on the line. They're going to follow you if you're one or other side of the sand, on the other side of the land, the line. And that makes sense, because if you agree with everyone, if you please everyone,
Yeah.
then people are not going to be understanding where you are. And my stand is like, I'm against AI. Prove me wrong. Like, wait for 3 years when we're making sentient AIs and they can reproduce themselves and re-heal themselves. Then let's talk. But if I'm wrong, I'm happy to be wrong.
Okay. If you're wrong, you're happy to change the sides when someone proves you right. Okay.
But I'm not going to be in the middle.
Yeah.
All my life. Do you know 50 Cent, the rapper?
Yeah.
He
Absolutely.
has this amazing song called I'm Sick and Tired of Being Sick and Tired. Do you know this saying in USA? It's amazing saying.
Tell me.
It comes from the slaveries of black people, and they're just sick and tired of being always sick and tired. So I was that, and I was sick and tired because I was always in the middle. I was always in the line. I was like, oh, this guy is right. Yeah, also he's right. I don't want to upset anyone. Let's just be as diplomatic as possible. Never worked out for me. I made zero money. Never made.
How did you make the shift? Because I kind of relate in nowadays in the humanity, we are afraid to speak up because the judgment comes so fast that we don't know how to deal with it anymore. And choosing the side is kind of definitely creates, you need to be bold, and it definitely means that you will lose half of the people you have in your network.
So what?
Nothing.
That half of the people meant nothing to you in the beginning. Like when I was in the middle, people would be just your acquaintances. But now I'm radically on one way or another, and I'm not that radical. Like talk to Gary Vaynerchuk. You know the guy?
Yeah, I saw him speaking live in a small setting. It's insane.
He's radical.
Yeah, I love it.
He's not on the line. He's completely, you know where he stands. He goes, bam, bam, he's aggressive. People don't follow him because he's in the middle. They follow him because he's on the absolute opposite side. And he's not chosen it. It's just that he comes from his heart. Maybe it's his persona or not, but at least you know where he is. So if you're following that side of Gary or this side of me, then you are with me really good. Like you're strongly with me, but you're never going to be with me if you're in the middle of it. Like you have no idea what I'm standing for. And a person who doesn't stand for anything is nothing. That person is not worth to follow. It's not a leadership, or it's not a icon, or there's always number twos or number threes, and that's amazing. Or if you want to be number one in something, whatever it is, even if it's whatever it is, you have to stand for something. That's also with Porsche. If you close your eyes, you ask anything from anybody about Porsche, what they stand for, it's always performance, speed, performance. They started doing electric cars and it's not going well for them. Now they're going back to petrol cars. Because people are like, what the hell is this? Like, you're still doing electric cars because German government told you so? Like, yeah, we have to do them. They're fast, but it's not Porsche. So their line on the sand was like, we're going back to high performance, very detailed speed cars that make amazing sounds. That's what we stand for.
That's amazing. So tell me, Kayvan, what was that pivotal moment when you said, okay, enough being a diplomat, I'm now going bald?
I think when realizing that people around me that made more money than me, especially talking with someone who is a VC, who was an Israeli guy. He's an Iranian Israeli guy, and he was just saying like his questions were brutal. When I was in a conversation with him with Islash a couple of years ago, I just happened to stumble upon on him, and his questions to this startup guy was so incredibly brutal. He sounded rude, but the guy, Israeli guy, he's Israeli. That's what they do. They're very straightforward. They're very ask deep questions, and he was telling this to the founder. He was like, you don't stand for anything. You just copy, and you just want to be another one. You're a people pleaser. I think when you grew up, you had you had probably issues at home, and you just want to people please. And when you people please, yeah, that's what you're saying. You have probably issues at home. The guy was like, yeah, I have a lot of issues at home. It's like, yeah, because you're trying to not compensate by people pleasing everybody, and that puts you in nowhere. And that exactly, it sounded, I had the same thing. I was a people pleaser. I wanted everyone to be happy. In my events, I would go to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, here's this. You should meet that. You should meet that. Blah, blah, blah. And people were like, yeah, Kayvan is a great connector. But then when it comes time to make money, nobody will put money on you. Nobody wants to hire you because they will go to the person who stands for something rather than me, who's in the middle. And I was just organizing the parties, like, the slush, I want to be at Kayvan's party, right? You heard about these parties.
Absolutely. I've been part of it.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be a part of it.
I've been part of it.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. So, and then I realized this, it's none of this is making me money. Let's forget about all this kindness and bullshit like that. Let's make money out of it. And now I stand for something, and when people know me, they're like, this guy is as clear as hell. I want to be even clearer, by the way. I'm like, this is the edge. I'm here. I should be here, even more radical now. I want to be even more, not like is insulting radical, but just standing so much on the edge.
Well, not throwing away your kindness, but identifying what you stand for.
Yeah.
And what value you can bring on, and how we can collaborate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people mix kindness with niceness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of being nice. Like, I am absolutely tired, of being nice to people just because I want them to think good things about me. Like with this actor yesterday, I was not nice at all. I was really kind. I was funny, but I was being myself. I don't want him to be my friend because I'm nice. I want to be connected with him because if he doesn't, it's okay. But at least he knows where I'm standing. Kindness is totally amazing. But you should, I think in business, you talk to any CEO and you talk to a lot of them, they're kind in some extent, but nice, not always.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst ones that crash and burn, and the CEOs that I work very closely with that have crash and burn, they crash and burn because they were too nice. They didn't want to fire that person who effed up all the time. They didn't want, so there's a huge distinction. And I learned it by working with a lot of celebrities very closely. And I realized, this guy is not nice, but how is he so kind? How does this work? It's incredible. So, yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Very interesting. So I think that leads us to another point of the conversation. I wanted us to touch base, events and the experiences, right?
Yeah.
From the beginning, you've been creating always something unique, something special. There was always a twist. And myself, I'm dealing really badly with transactional events where someone comes to you and immediately sells. I'm just kind of I don't know, just more like from the story side. So that's why perhaps I'm not a very good saleswoman. However, what's your approach right now?
Why do you think you're not a good salesperson?
I don't know.
Come on, why?
I think that I'm not direct and I don't choose a very clear offering. and value
Why
sometimes I can bring.
but why we should have an offering? I don't understand why.
Not necessarily.
Yeah. Like, I think your uniqueness, what is your uniqueness to you?
I just don't care. I just do my thing. I care about people and I
Don't
care
say
about
that. You should care. Come on. What's your uniqueness?
my uniqueness.
Yeah, what is it?
Communication.
You think so? Ask me what's your uniqueness.
What's my uniqueness?
Your name and your smile. You can't replicate that.
Yeah.
And when you talk to people, people feel really comfortable. Like they just you put people completely in a comfort zone, and then you're really good at peeling layers, and your name is memorable, but I don't think you use it enough. I think instead of like going and saying your name very quickly, I think you should say your name very slowly and explain what it means. I do that all the time. Like if I want to meet anyone,
Yeah.
I said, "Hey, my name is Kayvan," and then I give them 2 seconds, and then I know in their mind they go like, "Where is that out?" It's Persian and it means Saturnus.
Ooh.
And they go, "Oh," and I go, "Okay." So they go, "How do I say it?" So imagine a van with a K on it. Oh, Kayvan. It's like, yeah, they won't forget.
I sometimes explain that. So if someone really, I see people being confused because it's Zivile, a very traditional Lithuanian name that means alive. And I'm like,
Whoa, hold on. What does it mean?
alive.
Alive.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And literally, I lived in Croatia a long time ago for my exchange studies. And in the Balkans, if you say Zivile, my name is Zivile. So it's kind of same for their understanding of the words. And it means to your health, cheers. So literally, I had the best time in my life. You know, when the song, everybody knows my name. So that was my time in Croatia.
Nice. So I think
First
that's your
Yeah.
uniqueness. That's your currency. If your name was like Anna or Emma, I understand, but you have a very unique name. You have a very attractive smile. Like you,
Yeah.
very calm personality. That's your currency. And I think if you just make people go that direction and be very clear of what you want, like asking from them, not offering but asking, and then you ask those questions very specifically, then they know where you stand, like what you want from them.
Yeah.
Like if you want them on your podcast, like ask them questions first. Like, then they're in your
100%.
yeah, you're really
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I could not imagine just approaching someone without knowing the background story. Oh, do you want to come to the podcast? I think the key essence for me why I started this was actually hearing the stories and then realizing that if that can reach at least one person who is going through something similar, who is experiencing some kind of same challenges, that would be my mission
Amazing.
accomplished, you know?
Yeah.
And that one thing leads to another.
But that's because you're really nice.
But remember, we spoke nice and kind.
Yes, exactly. I think it's like, if someone asks me about you, you're like the kindest, nicest, loveliest person. Stand for something, be stronger with that, and throw away anything that people think of. Like there's this content creator called Jenny Hoyos. Do you know this lady, Jenny Hoyos? She was here. She has like, I think she's the
Jelin, the activist.
no. She's Jenny Hoyos. She's a YouTuber. She's
Yeah.
I think the biggest YouTuber in her space in the world. She's very well known for scientifically breaking through the virality of
Okay.
YouTube. She's really good at it. She's figured out how you can make any video go viral. And viral, I mean like millions in hour views. And I was talking to her here on Tuesday, and she just said, I just don't care about what people think of me. I wear whatever I want. I don't care. And then that is so powerful. If you don't care and you stand for something and you just go for it, I think it's more powerful than being on the line. So experiences come through that.
Yeah.
I made an experience here, music experience. They asked me to come here and interview some people on stage. And then I did that. But then also I did a music experience for 25 minutes on Experience Summit, the stage over there. I asked people to close their eyes and I played music. And I talked about the songs, what that song meant to the artist, what it means to the person, which direction it's going to go, what the instrument, the moment of the recording. And that's the kind of experience they remember. And I've never had more people come and talk to me after my talk, and even people asking me for autographs, which was so weird.
No way.
I've never had that in my life, autographs. I didn't know that. I was just like, how do I do an autograph? Is this a sign? Do I just sign my name? Is that how they do it? I don't know. And this kid also came asking me for an autograph. So
That's so sweet.
yeah, and it was just because my opinion of the songs was super clear. Like
Okay.
I was saying that this song could be better if it was this. And, so, yeah.
That's really cool. Thanks for sharing, because I forgot to ask you, how did it go?
Ah.
I had a meeting, so I couldn't make it.
It's great.
What was your main intention of creating such experience for people who are coming for the tech conference?
I think everybody here in front of the media, from anyone watching, we know we are hooked on their mobile. We are hooked on the
Yeah.
tech. We're hooked on getting from people what we want, and we're hooked on, just go, go, go. And we're forgetting simple basics of life. I believe, and a lot of car designers believe, this is a thing now, and architects believe, there's this thing called event boundary. It's when you cross a threshold in your home. Like when you go to your home or any home, when you open the door and there's a threshold and you walk over that threshold, something changes in your mind. That's called event boundary. That's neuroarchitecture. So neuroscience and architecture together is neuroarchitecture. This is not a new concept. It's 1,000 years old. So every home has a hallway when you enter. Not every home, obviously some small homes will. But most homes have a hallway. When you open the door, you're over the threshold, there's a hallway. You take a time, acclimatize, and then you take your jacket off, right? And then you put your jacket somewhere, shoes off, then you go in to the living quarters, right? That's an event boundary. That event boundary is essential to your well-being, for your neural health and neuroscience. It's essential. It's proven by neuroscientists that when you have that event boundary, it helps your brain to calm down and switch from go, go, go to take it easy. And that's what I want to do with music. I think with music, you either listen to music in a concert, right?
Yeah.
You watch, you sit, the concert, artist is there. It's a one-way street. Then the second one is you're in a festival, a party, you dance, it's good. It's an experience, right? The third one is it's passive. It's in the background. It's in a car, wherever you are, maybe shower for somebody. And maybe there's a fourth one where you play an instrument, right? But I think there's a fifth one, the fifth element. And I think that's just sitting down. I know it sounds crazy. Bear with me. It's sitting down and closing your eyes and listening to music and don't do anything else. So that's what I want to do. I want to play songs, sit you down, close your eyes, and talk about songs and what they meant from different countries to different cultures and tell stories about them.
That's pretty cool. But you're a very good storyteller, no matter which direction you go. So now you've just shared how you're creating stories and sharing the stories through music. What would be those key non-negotiables when you approach some kind of storytelling, story development?
Like, what's the style you mean, or what's the...
Maybe, do you have some kind of structure, or you just
Yes.
you just have a gut feeling and lots of experience? I don't know.
No, any good story has a middle, beginning, middle, and end. If you don't do that, then it's really not a good story. Like any small story. Like if I say to you this morning, I want you to come to the podcast today, right? And I say, oh, I gotta wake up. So I woke up quickly, I was showered, quickly brushed my teeth, put my clothes on, almost didn't make it to the bus, ran to the bus. Then I was like, oh, I was in the wrong bus. I was going to the wrong place. I got out of the bus. No, it's true. I got out of the bus and it was moving. The bus was moving. I was like, oh, where are we going? It's like, oh, we're going to the other venue. It's like, there's another venue? I didn't know that. I got out of the bus. I found the right bus. Then I was sitting there. Then I texted you. I ran here. You prepared breakfast for me. I had breakfast on the fly, basically. I was eating breakfast.
Sorry about that.
No, it was amazing. I had breakfast. Yeah, it gave me something. I ate it. We walked here. We just made it. Web Summit people are super happy that we made it, even we were a couple of minutes late. And now we're sitting here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just told you a story arc. I just told you a story in 3 acts. I beginned with the setup. I woke up, I brushed my teeth, ran in the shower. I set you up. I am in your mind. You know where I am, right? And then I said the conflict. I was in the bus. I was the wrong bus. I had to get out of the bus, right? I just did that to you. And then I got to the right bus, blah, blah, blah. Then the challenge was I didn't have food. You prepared the food. I ate it. The challenge was to eat it, to make it here. I keep going with another challenge, which is the nemesis, the arch nemesis of any storytelling. If any movie you watch, there's the good character, the protagonist, and there's the bad character, the anti-protagonist, who's called the nemesis. They have to play against each other. There is no good movie that doesn't have the anti-protagonist. Like, it just doesn't work in any action movie, any good movie, any sad romance. In romance is, I don't know, someone's falling in love with the wrong person, whatever. If you don't tell,
Always.
yeah, because there is
Always.
any movie you watch, any movie from now on, a good movie, like take the best movie in the world, The Dark Knight by Christopher Nolan, like one of the best movies ever made. It has so many anti-protagonists. It has the Joker. It has the chemist. It has all kinds of things. But the protagonist is Batman. That's the protagonist. But if I just tell you, Batman woke up, put the suit on, then he just biked somewhere, and then he was happy. He met a wife, and he's happy ever after together. That's it. There's no conflict. So telling a story in 3 acts is essential. Any story, even smallest story possible, because it takes you on a ride and it closes the story. It ends the story. It wraps it up. It puts it in the butt. Like, we are. We're sitting here. That was the end of the story. Now you know where you are.
Yeah. You just literally brought me through the memory lane. And I've got in my mind so many stories that happened in my life that could work so well into putting it out there in some kind of creative manner, like me almost throwing my phone while throwing away the trashes before the trip, to locking myself out of the apartment before the flight. And I was
There you go.
yeah, it's crazy.
You can also tell that story other way around. You can say, I almost didn't make it this morning in the podcast. But if you just end it there, then there's no, why? There's no story. But I said, I almost didn't make it to the podcast because I was in the wrong bus. Let me tell you about it. And then you go. So there is
Love it.
that's called the rose petal storytelling, where this essential of the center of this rose is still the bud, but you peel off and then you come back to the story. So there are 7 arcs of stories, 7 arcs, and then the arc of 3 is the basic, and all the movies are based on that.
And how do you approach your content creation then?
Yeah, I do the same thing. Like, I open up with a hook, I think about what's important right now, what's matters, what people want to hear, and what's trendy, what hasn't been done before, and I open up with a hook very quickly. I take them out in a conflict, or I open the hook can be even a conflict, like only 1% of the people know, or I bet you didn't know about this, or one of my most normal hooks is like, I was saying all Americans are fat, and people go, "Way, I'm not fat, I'm American." And then I take it down and actually tell you the story, and people realize this was a hook, but they still watch it.
Yeah.
So 3 acts again. I go up in arc, I challenge, and I end it up. And I always do that. Almost every good content creator does that, and that's just it's a proven storytelling of arcs. We can be acts. It can be act of 5, act of 6, but there always has to be the beginning and the end act, always.
And I would allow myself to assume that the way you design the event experiences kind of also has some kind of framework that is related to the storytellings, then some kind of obviously intention and what's relevant in the current, perhaps, society norms. So wrapping up this episode maybe and bringing us back to the events and you navigating through different industries, where do you think we're right now with the event experience industry? Because what I've noticed that we've been so AI, your favorite topic, driven, that we started lacking human-centric approach for our daily life experiences, for even some kind of technological advances. So how do you leverage this when it comes to creating events? And
Yeah, it's a really profound question. I just want to keep reiterating how much I don't like AI. Like, I just want to make that clear.
but come on, like,
I do
AI is
use it.
so broad. What
Yeah.
you don't like about that? Because
I don't like almost anything that is for consumers. I understand for the pharmaceuticals, that's amazing.
Yeah.
For the airline industry, for security, for legal industry, that's amazing. But it's not necessary for a user. I have now friends who are my age that don't even think for a second for an answer they go immediately to ChatGPT to ask a question that could be easily just thought about in a conversation. Like my friend Robert, if he watches this, like he's addicted to ChatGPT. And we were talking about platypus. You know this animal, platypus? It's a really random animal from Australia. Super random. It's like a duck, but it's not a duck. It lays eggs, but then it has a big beak. It's just the weirdest animal in the world. And I was telling this story, and he didn't believe me. And instead of believing me or even going to Google, he was asking ChatGPT, "What is a platypus?" And it's just this is 2025. Imagine in a few years' time, people are addicted to it now. And I think it's just nonsense. We should we are running out of time.
No, we're good. No, finish. Like you, it's a nonsense. We should have what?
We should have more debates and more space for failures.
But then don't you think, because I would like to disagree with you that AI is really full of bad.
Good.
I agree about the cognitive offloading that's happening and what you mentioned about your friend, that we literally outsource even the basic thoughts. And we just cannot have a proper conversation with quite a lot of a society, which is sad. On the other hand, remember when the Google came into our worlds, right? We always also were critical. And I do see, let's say, all the different chat tools right now kind of replacing and advancing what we can do, what we can access when it comes to information. And I see it more as a problem that we don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's risky. But it's not that it's bad. It actually allows us, when it comes to science and in data lives, I love it. Like some tools saves me so much time.
Oh, 100%. I still will be okay without it.
Okay, interesting.
I'll be there.
I think that's something we need to have another episode about, like AI and to try to be a bit to see you yes or no from different angles. So I guess we're getting closer to the end, and there are still a lot of things we could have unwrapped and will be doing potentially in the next episodes. I guess final question, right? For everyone who is listening right now here, us directly live from Web Summit 2025.
Are we live?
No.
Oh.
Kind of, yes. We are live for the audience who is here, right? But I like to finish the podcast episodes with some kind of thought to ponder for everyone who is here with us today, right? Maybe it can be existential question, it can be career question, whatever. What would be this one thought you would like to leave listeners to ponder through the rest of the day?
When the Spaniards went in a long time ago in 1492, they wanted to discover the New World. Columbus and there's this guy called Hernan Cortés. They will only get sailors who went through the storms and who had traumatic experiences. And there's a saying in Spanish, but I will translate to English, that is one of the most profound sayings that I have. Honestly, I want to tattoo it in my body. It's called, "Smooth seas never make a great sailor." And I've gone through the rough seas, and I'm 42 now, and now I know how to be a great sailor. Like, if I didn't go through that, I don't think I'll be a good sailor. And it's totally fine. And the hardest thing is to really appreciate it that you're in a rough seas right now. Like, things are bad, but if you just understand that things are bad, you recognize it, and you know you go through that, and then you keep pushing, that's a differentiator. Like, just going through that, and smooth seas, like if everything goes well, something when it goes wrong, it's going to go wrong really badly. But if you went through the rough seas, everything else is going to be smooth sailing.
All right, Kayvan, I could not imagine a better way to finish this episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in with us today while we covered many great topics. And I will leave in the show notes how you can find more about Kayvan, his work, and what he's been up to with his new TikToker career. And yeah, I hope you got inspired. I hope you learned something new. And thank you very much. It was an episode recorded live at Web Summit 2025. And see you next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kayvan.
Thank you. We're so good at this.